Hey guys, my name is Ellen Fox. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about Ballerina Farm. Because that's all anybody can talk about nowadays. I normally avoid topics like this because they don't make sense to me. Like, I like to stick with my TV shows and my movies. But this one in particular was so bizarre and was not making sense to me whatsoever. Because what the hell is an egg apron? What the hell is a freaking egg apron? I had to look it up. I had to look up what a freaking egg apron was, and it blew my mind. Not the fact that egg aprons exist, but that video itself. Watching that video felt like listening to a conversation in my house.
You're welcome.
Thanks, honey.
And watching that video and reading people's comments made me realize, for the first time in my life, that people have no idea what a toxic relationship or a toxic household is, and people have no idea about the mindset of a man like Daniel. Hannah's husband, Ballerina Farm's husband, people always have names for men like that. They're like, it's a red flag, power abusers, control freaks, or generally narcissistic. But nobody ever understands what it's like to live with a man like that. I have spent more than 2 decades living with a man like that every single day under the same roof. So I believe that I'm qualified enough to explain this to you, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to explain everything to you. I'm not here to give advice. I'm not here to tell you how to get into marriage or get out of marriage. None of that. I just want to come on here to explain to you what she is going through, and then you can be the judge. Now, for those of you who haven't watched the original video, basically Ballerina Farm is like the farm life of Hannah. Hannah is a woman who has 8 children. 8 children. She lives on a farm with those 8 children, some cows and pigs and all these animals, and her billionaire husband. Yes, billionaire with a B. And the particular video that went viral that has everybody talking about Ballerina Farm was her birthday unboxing video.
Hoping they're tickets to Greece. Plane tickets? A hat I can wear in Greece.
Basically, in the video, she is unboxing a gift from her husband, and in the video, she states multiple times that she hopes it's tickets to Greece. 3 times she's like, I hope it's tickets to Greece. But what she ends up receiving is an egg apron. And people were infuriated. Not just by the fact that her husband is a literal billionaire and can afford to send his wife to Greece every single day if he wants to add insult to injury, her husband owns an airline. Daniel owns multiple airlines, and yet he did not choose to send his wife to Greece and gave her an egg apron to collect eggs from the farm. And that just sent people over the edge because they were so mad. Everybody in the comments was like, it literally costs you nothing to send your wife to Greece. You literally have an airline company. It costs you nothing. And the moment I read the words, it costs you nothing, it immediately clicked. Because it doesn't cost him nothing. It costs him a lot. It costs him his traditions, his values, and most importantly, his mental peace. Because according to Ballerina Farm, according to these husband and wife, they do not have any nannies. They don't have any help around the house. Everything is being done by the wife. So if she goes to Greece, who's going to watch over the house? God, I hate that sentence. Because every single time anyone in my family is like, hey, you know, I have to do this thing in the other city. I'm gonna do it and I'll be back tomorrow. My grandpa always has one question for them. Who's gonna watch over the house? My grandpa, who's the head of the family, who's a carbon copy of Daniel, has one question for us anytime we want to leave the house. Who's gonna watch the house? Well, you know, Grandpa, we asked so-and-so and they'll take care of the house while we're away. Why would so-and-so take care of the house? It's your house, not so-and-so's house. You should be taking care of it. And there are literally days when we want to sit him down and be like, Grandpa, I'm gonna hold your hands when I say this. The house is not going to run away if we leave it for 2 minutes. And he once again looks us dead in the eye and is like, why would you want to leave your family behind? You want to go to another place and leave your house and leave your family behind. Why would you do that? And we're like, we're not leaving anything behind. We're going out for dinner. We would be back in 2 hours, Grandpa. And I wish I was exaggerating. But in all 30 years, this house was built 30 years ago. And in those 30 years, there hasn't been a single day, not a single minute. I feel like you're gonna think we're lunatics, but because like saying this out loud, it seems insane. There hasn't been a single minute when the house has been completely empty of people. Not a single minute. And it's not just that there is one person in the house to watch over the house. Absolutely not. Because if there is one person in the house, then who will take care of that person? Another person needs to stay back so they can take care of each other. It sounds insane, but this happens every single day in this house. Every single day without fail. The house is never empty. And we're not even close to what Ballerina Farm is because we do hire people to help around. We do have babysitters, we do have housekeepers sometimes, we do get people to come around and help. Ballerina Farm is a worse situation. There are no nannies, there is no house help, so if Hannah leaves, who is going to take care of the children? Because the problem with men like Daniel, the problem with men like my grandpa, and all these other men around me, is that they consider their lives to be completed. When Daniel looks at his life, he's like, okay, you have a house, you have a farm, you have fresh food, you have children, you have me, the bills are paid, everything's amazing. Why do you want to go to Greece then? Our life is fulfilled, we're here, all of us are here, peace is here, happiness is here. Then why do you want to leave? Because every time you have a request like, hey, I want to go somewhere or I want to do something, they cannot fathom the fact that you are not fulfilled. How can you not be fulfilled if you have children and if you have me and if your bills are paid? How are you not fulfilled? That doesn't make any sense. And there are days when you feel like you cannot breathe. There are days when you feel like you need to escape and this is a prison. But then there are other days when you feel like you are the most blessed human on earth. Because that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of people trying to tell Hannah to leave without understanding the situation. The problem of the situation is that they confuse a toxic relationship with an abusive relationship, even though the two of them are very different. An abusive relationship is one that is static, where every single day you are being put through new obstacles, where you're constantly tortured, you're constantly hurt, and that's that. A toxic relationship is one that is extremely good and extremely bad at the same time. It may be constantly varying where things are going good and bad and good again, or things are simultaneously good and bad. And that is what holds people back. People in toxic relationships always hesitate because they look at their past, they look at yesterday and they're like, okay, things are terrible today and he's treating me terribly today, but just a couple of days ago, things were amazing. So history repeats itself. Things will get good again. And that is what happens. Things do get good again. Things constantly become bad and then become good again. And that's why people stay in toxic houses or toxic relationships. Nobody is stopping and considering if she wants to leave. Because none of us know the full picture. Only she does. And only she can be the judge of whether she wants to leave or not. Once again, the thing about being in a toxic household, the thing about being with toxic people is that things are confusing and most times you don't even know if it's you or your trauma talking. A lot of the times, because it doesn't make sense. I sometimes look at my own family from a third person point of view and I don't know who would be who in the situation. Who is the villain and who's the hero? Because when I look at my mom, I see a victim. But then I look at her from my own point of view and I think about all the times that she has beat me to pulp. And then I'm like, but she's a villain to me because she used to hurt me. She used to hit me. But then I look at all the times that she has done these extremely good things for me. Like, I don't think that obviously, like, that, every time you want to sit down and you want to be like, oh my God, I have the most amazing mom. And I don't think a person could have a better mom. And then you look at the person, you look at this woman who is doing all these things for you and you're like, she's amazing and she's wonderful. But then that same woman is the one hurting you. That same woman is the one that is kicking you in the stomach. I can't believe she did that. Like, it's so weird that people have it in them to hurt children like that. Like, wow, she really is insane. But once again, even with my grandpa, he is toxic, he is abusive psychologically. He sometimes physically hits us and sometimes psychologically abuses us. But then, looking at the whole situation, there are moments, like, I don't think there is anyone who has a better grandpa than me. And it sounds insane that I'm saying this, but he is both extremely good and extremely bad at the same time. And that is what a toxic relationship is. You look at other people and you look at others. It was my mom. She's really sweet. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that it's the same person. And that's the thing. When I look at other people, when you look at what other people have and you're like, okay, this is good. But my mom, but my husband, but my dad, they are extremely great. Yes, there are times when they hurt me, but like, that's when you sit down and you want to choose. Do I choose good, or do I choose the best, but with all the pain? And another very important point in the whole conversation is, can Hannah leave? Can she leave? Literally, economically speaking. Because I was talking to my mom about this and I was like, Mom, marry a rich man and he makes you work for every penny. And she was like, in this economy, everyone has to work for every penny. You just have to choose which hustle you want. You're either lucky enough to be born rich, or you just have to choose which hustle you want. You either fight the economic system every day, or you fight your husband every single day. But you know who's a stupid person? Who marries rich and then jumps into the economic system. Because now, not only are you fighting the economic system to make ends meet, you're also fighting your rich partner and their lawyer. That man is a literal billionaire. He has the money to take custody for his children, and he has the money to fight her in court for the next 40 years. He will exhaust the hell out of her. So the situation once again comes down to, can Hannah leave? It's not just you telling her in the comments like, leave Hannah, leave, and she'll just get up and leave. It's never that simple. Leaving a toxic house, not just about, you not wanting to leave because you're so confused psychologically. It's about the economy as well. Can you leave? Because leaving a toxic house, or any house in general, is extremely hard. And I used to say this all the time. I was like, I want to leave. I want to leave. The moment I can, I want to leave. So my mom was like, okay, let's help you leave. She had me leave the house. She was like, go out there, get yourself an apartment, do your own thing, just go out there, be in peace. And I did leave. I left, I looked at apartments, I looked at groceries, I looked at my college tuition, and in 2 weeks, I literally called my mom and I was like, I cannot do this. I have tried working for the past years. I have been working for like 5 years now. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. And there are days when I literally work until I cannot think anymore. Like, my brain literally cannot function anymore. I've worked myself to that edge. And I have still not been able to make enough money for myself or make myself strong enough to be able to leave. Because the freaking economy. And after those 2 weeks, after spending those 2 weeks out there, I saw the life that I could have. And I did have this newfound motivation of working even harder. And I tried. I have been working even harder for the past 4 months and nothing changed. I am still as destitute as I was 4 years ago. The day I came back home after those 2 weeks, suddenly this house did not seem as toxic anymore. Suddenly this family seemed even more loving than before. She has 8 children with him. 8. That takes a long time to make from scratch. Do you really think in all those years she's never had the revolutionary idea of leaving? She's had it. But saying and telling people to leave is a lot easier said than done. Because trust me, if you agree right now to pay my student debt and get me an apartment and pay for my groceries and get me health insurance, I would fucking leave as well. I would not take it. It would not take me a second. I'll pack my bags up and I'll leave. But you cannot leave. Leaving is not that easy. Nobody's in a toxic house by choice. They're either too muddled to think about it, or they physically, financially cannot do it. Well, that's toxicity for you. I'm not here to give you advice to leave the house or not leave the house. I'm just here to explain what goes on in a toxic house or with toxic people. So that's it. Maybe I shouldn't have made this video. Like, what if my family sues me for defamation? They wouldn't sue me. They're not toxic like that. They wouldn't sue me. They'll keep me here and be toxic for like another 4 years. So that was it for this video. That was my analysis of Ballerina Farm, and if you don't agree with anything I said, leave it in the comments and subscribe. Click the notification bell to be notified every time I upload, and also follow me on my Instagram and TikTok. They're both at @Fox, and that is it. I'm the only Fox in this world. And how do you like my shirt? I didn't think yellow looked good on me, but I think it does. I think it's a good enough color. Let me know what you make of the situation, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.